Hello, Truth Seeker. Lorelai here again with a few words about finding your truth. If you are like me, you are most likely a highly sensitive person, and I am almost 100% sure that you are just like me, because otherwise you would not be listening to this video, you would not be searching for your own truth. So if you are a highly sensitive person, or you can call yourself an empath, there is a lot of good things about it, obviously, because you feel more, you see more, you are more self-aware, you are more aware of the world, you are more aware of the people around you. But there's also one big downside to it that I have experienced recently, and it really just put me down to bed and I couldn't move. So the fact that we feel more means that we connect to other people's emotions, and sometimes we take them onto ourselves. So we take on other people's emotions, and they literally just make us have that. So that's something that happened to me recently. And I wasn't aware of it until yesterday. I was talking to a friend of mine about how I was feeling and all of the emotions that were very overwhelming, and honestly they were too big for the situation that happened. So I couldn't understand where they were coming from. I thought maybe there was something inside of me that I needed to work on, something that was coming up to be cleared. But when I was talking to a friend of mine, she asked me, well, how do you feel? And I explained to her, all of the emotions that I was feeling in the moment. And then she said, okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer without thinking. The first thing that comes to your mind. Are those emotions yours or not? And my first feeling, my first response was not. No, they're not mine. And that's something that happens to me and to everybody who's highly sensitive, especially when we care about the person that we're around. And we want to help them deal with their own things, and we're very much connected to them on a vibrational level, on a emotional, spiritual level. We're connected to them. We tend to take on their emotions, and we don't recognize that not all of the emotions they're feeling are ours. And if they're not ours, our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, there is nothing we can do about shifting them, because it's not our lesson to be learned. It's not our thing to be dealt with. But we take on those emotions and we're not aware of it. So when finding your own truth, you need to learn to be more aware of what you're feeling, and if what you're feeling belongs to you or it doesn't. It's going to be very detrimental to your health and to your well-being if you take on other people's emotions. Yes, we are there for other people. We're there to support them and guide them and help them, but we cannot do the work for them. So we cannot take on other people's problems. We cannot take on responsibility for somebody else's well-being, for somebody else's growth, for somebody else's healing. Only they can do it. So when we take on their emotions from the goodness of our heart, we're trying to help them. We really want the best for them. And we take on all of those emotions most often unconsciously just because we care about them. We're not doing them any favors, and we're definitely not doing ourselves any favors. So this is something that we need to learn when we're finding our true self. This is something we need to learn, to recognize our emotions and recognize whether they belong to us or not. So next time you're feeling something, most likely unpleasant, because when you feel pleasant emotions, nobody questions that. It's great to feel great, it's great to feel happy, it's great to feel excited and just joyful. That's great. But when you feel emotions that are unpleasant, check with yourself first. Check with yourself first of all if those emotions are connected to a specific situation that happened. If there's something that happened in your life and that make you feel sad, yeah, it's okay. You can feel sad if something happened. And then check with yourself, is the sadness proportional to what has happened to me? Because it's very personal, how big the feeling is, how much sadness or anger or anything else you're feeling. It's very personal. So we do not gauge it on, how somebody else would feel in the situation, but you. If the situation makes you feel, for example, sad, is the sadness proportionate to what has happened? If it's not, it's either something from your past that's coming up for you to heal, or maybe you have taken on other people's emotions. So check with yourself. Check with yourself, first of all, check with the feeling, name your feeling. Naming your feeling is very, very important for your self-awareness and for your growth. And in order to heal an emotion, you have to name the emotion, you have to name the feeling. So first of all, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Then ask yourself, is the emotion connected to something that happened to me? And if you hear yes, ask yourself, is the emotion proportionate to what has happened to me? If it's yes, then yeah, it is something for you to look at, something for you that's coming up for you to clear. And then whatever tools you have, then you can work with them to heal whatever it is that needs to be healed. But don't think about it too much. Ask yourself, and just the first thought that comes to mind. And if you hear no, the emotion is not proportionate to what has happened. No, the emotion is not mine. There is something that you need to do, which is sending the feeling, all of the emotions, all of the experiences that are in your body, in your heart right now, just send them back to the person that it belongs to. You can do it in many different ways. It can be a ritual that you can make up for yourself. What I did, for example, was I just took a piece of paper. I recognized who the emotions belong to, and I just wrote a little sentence saying, I am now sending all of those emotions that are not mine to the person they belong to. With love and care, I'm just sending them back because they are not mine. And I just burned a piece of paper safely, burned it outside, and I let it burn, and I took a deep breath, and I just released the emotion. And I could feel the shift immediately. I could feel so much lighter. I also felt very tired afterwards, and I just realized that I was carrying, for a couple of weeks, I was carrying so much emotional charge that was not mine, that I was just exhausted after it. But on an emotional level, I felt so much better because I knew those emotions went back to the people they belong to, so they can deal with it. I can't do the work for them, so there's no point of me taking on their emotions. So whether you want to write a little note and burn it, or whether you just want to close your eyes and in a meditation, just imagine talking to the person and just sending back whatever you took on from them, whatever doesn't belong to you. On an energy level, make sure to return what doesn't belong to you. We are only responsible for our own growth. We cannot do the work for other people. I've said it quite a few times today. But it is important to know, because when you are an empath, when you are a highly sensitive person, you want to help everyone around you, but you are only responsible for yourself and your growth. You can be an example to people by doing the work on yourself. You can inspire them to do their own work on themselves. You can inspire them to shift their own things. If they see you overcoming your difficulties, shifting what doesn't serve you, they can be inspired by you, but you cannot do work for them. If you know tools, if you have tools that can help people, you can tell them about it, but again, it's up to them whether they're going to do the work or not. So, truth seeker, remember, you are responsible for your own growth, for your own emotions, and check with yourself quite often if the emotions that you are feeling belong to you or not, and send them to the person they belong to. So that's my message for you today. Based on my experiences, I will share messages with you in the future. Whatever comes up for me, I'm sure there is somebody there who's going through a similar thing, and they can benefit from learning from my experience and from the things that I've been through and the things that I have learned about myself. On another level, we are all connected, and we are all shifting. So let's learn from each other's experiences, and let's support each other, but let's not take responsibility for other people. So wishing you a great day, Truth Seeker, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon.